Update: AITA for threatening legal action against my mom, brother, and future SIL for stealing the only inheritance I have from my grandmother. OG post: https://www. reddit.com/r/AITA/comments/180 oki/AITA for threatening legal action against my mom/. Hey y'all. Before we get into the update, there are a few points I want to make clear that have been brought up from my last point. First, my mom and paternal grandmother were on good terms before her passing. They weren't besties by any means, but they were kind to each other. Hence why my mother got a box of her jewelry, which mostly consists of brooches, but does offer a few of her better pieces like her locket and a charm bracelet. Second, my father passed of a heart condition the year I graduated middle school, which is why he's not dealing with my mom. Since his death, my paternal family has really tried to bridge the gap he left, hence why I'm so close with them. And finally, yes, I understand my username may lead to the conclusion that this is fake, but I do write fanfiction. This is just a second account since all my siblings know my main. But maybe I'll start posting stories in the stories subreddit and use this as my writing account. Who knows, lol. Now, time for the update. The day after I posted, Amy, future SIL, texted me privately and asked me to meet up with her in secret. We organized a meeting for the next day at one of the local diners to grab lunch and talk. Meeting her was weird, since I didn't know how she would gauge the situation. Amy has never been mean-spirited, just blunt, not the rude kind of blunt either. She's just a woman of a few words kind of deal. A few of the comments said she was the for accepting it, but the fact is she hasn't been in the family long enough to know about my connection to the ring. She had only met my grandmother once or twice before my grandmother got sick. Once we sat down, she told me to tell her about my grandmother, which I initially thought was weird. But I got to telling her some childhood stories about my grandmother. How I would help her pick tomatoes from her garden to make fresh sauce. How we used to go on her porch and just watch the sunset. How during Christmas Mass, she always held my hand walking up/down the large steps, since the crowds would often lead to me being separated. Long story short, Amy seemed reminiscent about the situation before she immediately apologized. She hadn't known about the ring, just that it was a family ring, and that it meant she was one of us now. When she had seen the text, she confronted my brother, who brushed it off as OP as just being dramatic. It's not like it's the only piece she has, which is true. I actually do have my grandmother's pearl earrings and her pearl necklace, but that was a sweet 16 gift, not inheritance. That got Amy mad, and she went to stay with her family. She apparently had been in my shoes before, having been gypped by her older relatives regarding her own grandmother's inheritance. She returned the ring and said she plans to break off the engagement. I told her to really think about that. She then smiled and said that she couldn't be a part of a family that was so backhanded and cruel. We talked for a bit more and left on good terms. My brother really dropped the ball. She was a good one. Yesterday, my mom called me and told me I had gone too far, and now Amy doesn't want to be a part of the family. I asked her what she expected when Amy was a good-hearted person who probably wouldn't want to marry into a family of liars and thieves. She said, my brother was distraught when he came home and found she had left with her things. I told her maybe if they didn't try to take my ring, then maybe Amy wouldn't look at them like they were bad people, and maybe she'd want to still marry my brother. My mom called me a slew of names before hanging up. I asked my uncle that, now that I have the ring, could I just keep it? My uncle said that was fine, since he knew I had a safe that I could keep it in. It's a fancy, fingerprint one where I keep my registered firearm and legal documents. He just made sure to document me receiving the ring, so that this way he didn't go nutty trying to find it for my 30th birthday. I now wear it on my middle finger, since it's a little too big for my ring finger. I went on a date with my we've been dating 9/10 months partner this morning, and they loved it. I plan to post a photo of us tonight or tomorrow, see how much I can stir the pot. Thanks to all who supported me. I knew I wasn't crazy. I've been the least favorite kid for years, and I've just gotten used to having to share or give up things. But my grandmother's ring was my hill to die on, and depending on how their behavior is, I may go NC, am currently LC due to this drama.